Hi everyone, my name is Nariki. I am a master student and UNIST in South Korea. Today I will introduce POSIT, which changes the disclosure level of schedule content according to the object placement. In shared office, frequent interaction with others occur. Privacy could be violated because of improper access, storage, and use of data by others. Thus, it is important to protect information privacy by providing users with a different way of expressing their personal data in shared office. According to previous research, tangible user interface can increase the user's awareness and the readability of system setting statements for privacy. So the design of POSIT aims to explore whether the simple placement change of the physical device representing personal information can affect privacy management in shared office. Studies on privacy in shared office has been conducted from filtering people's appearance to contextual GUI. Research is needed to find ways to help users take prompt action and consider collaboration efficiency. In this regard, some study has utilized the merit of tangible user interface based on control and representation. On the other hand, little has been explored by the field development study of the prototype in shared office. Based on the lesson from previous study, we designed and implemented a device called POSIT. I will introduce POSIT design process. First, we design 3 schedule display mode based on degree of exposure. Blank mode hide all schedule. Shareable mode show only the schedule the user has selected. Whole mode show all schedule. Through ideation for design interaction with severe sketches, we selected the placement change interaction. Placement change interaction make a physical object explicitly available and enable the intuitive recognition of the current state as the type of expression. We applied the token constraint system to represent the concept of showing each mode through the device placement detail. We select a desktop calendar as the token that shows schedule, and we selected a plate as the constraint because a plate makes it easy to take the token state and to change the token's placement. Finally, we matched the 3-mode activation with POSIT placement change interaction. This short video clip showed that. Based on the hardware and software development, we built 3 fully functional prototypes. To look deeply into how POSIT affects overall personal data privacy in shared office, we conducted 3 weeks of in-field study with 6 participants. We recruited 6 participants who work in different shared office. Additionally, we interviewed one of the colleagues sitting near each participant in the same office. Also, the usage log data was recorded whenever the calendar placement changed. Based on that, we could find some common use pattern of the POSIT, including personal way of use. Through iterative affinity diagramming and a triangularization of analysis of usage log and the interviews, we got these 3 findings. I will quickly talk about the summarized key points of finding. First, 5 participants state the POSIT interaction is convenient because it can intuitively recognize the current mode through the object position and quickly adjust mode. Additionally, the 4 participants note that they could change the mode in advance according to change in the number or approach of people around them. We were able to identify which message on POSIT's position on the participant's desk were delivered to their colleagues in shared office. All colleagues did not try to view contents because POSIT contained the participant's private schedule. At the same time, 3 colleagues' awareness that POSIT was in shared mode reduced the burden of gets related to the device. One colleague mentioned that if he saw something in device, then he was allowed to see it. In our study, participants had already formed social relationship between the colleagues of each office. And different social relationship between them affect the use of POSIT. First, the P3 and P4 did not share the meaning of POSIT position, with some individuals who might have found it unpleasant to hide their schedule. Second, 3 participants noted that sudden mode switching in front of people who knew the meaning of POSIT interaction could be an unpleasant behavior for others. To avoid an awkward situation, they checked to see when colleagues were approaching, and they changed the mode before they arrived at their seat. Third, although they were concerned about data exposure with POSIT unencrypted protection, they believed that their colleagues would not try to move POSIT. Based on the finding, we discussed design implications for privacy management through interactive physical objects in shared office. First, we were able to identify 2 considerations about physical state change interaction for privacy managed in shared office. One is ready-to-hand interaction. Ready-to-hand interaction may enable proactive response to inappropriate access to personal data that occurred in shared office. Second consideration is change representation of privacy setting. Clear indication of the data's sensitivity prevent others from accidentally watching users' data. Instead, users could show their data to others in more confident way. And we discussed social factor of shared space in designing interaction for privacy. The first issue is the timing of users' visibility behavior toward others. Even though participants could quickly change mode, some of them felt awkward and hesitate to change mode in situations where their colleagues were watching. Additional approaches are required to reduce the subtle discomfort. One way to do this could be allow a temporal mode change via simple distance or sound detection of others. The second issue is the level of trust between user and colleagues. Trust relationship between people can change according to time or events. As the change in trust is difficult for device to detect, there is opportunity for designing user experience in varying contexts. Thank you for listening. I am really honored to share our study through this conference.